what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are out here in this little scenic parking lot. We got the camping bugs making their noise, but you know what? We're here at Loki Kia because we have that one mid-size sedan that brings turbocharged power and definitely turbocharged fun. This is it. This is a 2023 Kia K5 GT. But before we get into this sport performance style of a mid-size sedan that's actually hard to find across the country, let's talk about what's going on here. Kia, they have been doing the business day in and day out to make people change their views and their perspectives towards their brand. Coming out with vehicles like the Stinger GT, the Telluride, the Seltos, the redesigned Sorento and Sportage. Well, guess what? When they came out with the K5, which is basically a redesigned Optima, people took even more notice because lots of other brands killing off sedans, not Kia. Now, with this K5 GT, you're getting turbocharged power, but you're also getting a very stylish interior. What I want to find out is that Kia is no longer just focusing on going up against Honda or Nissan. Now they're going after the premium brands like Acura. So what I want to do is I want to compare this K5 GT to an Acura TLX A-Spec and see which is the better mid-size sedan to buy. So let's go ahead, let's get into our black hole of a color K5 GT and find out. Right off the bat, the color. This black looks very sinister, very slick, and it's probably one of the hardest colors to find, period. At the front of the business, comparing this to the TLX A-Spec, what are we getting? Standard LED daytime running lamps. I love the way they do the heartbeat style design. Very similar on the Acura to their Apex style daytime running lamp. You got your multi LED beam headlight going on with just a little bit of chrome finish, but very sharp, almost like a sharp steak knife as it comes to a point where it meets the grill. On the lower side, I'm gonna have to zonk this. You have these fake vents. This would have been a perfect opportunity for some functional corner air curtains, or think about it, little triangular LED lights. That would have been a nice touch, which the LED lights are here. I'd rather move them here just to give it that extra special style. We come across that tiger nose grille. This is the grille design that Kia is known for. Love the dark gray finish, the way it's kind of pinched in the center. Comparing this to the TLX has that larger grille design, lower portion, full functionality, and I like the way they blend the lower lip into the front facing. Now, when we get up onto the hood, we got the updated badge. Remember, when the K5 came out a couple years ago, the K5 GT, we were working with the older Kia badge, new badging, everything else very clean on the hood. And I kind of really like the way they kind of fold the hood over onto the grill area. Steven doing a great job showing that off because black is a very difficult color to film on a vehicle. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Here's what we got. Very nice Y-spoke design all the way around. You got your GT branding on those calipers, upgraded calipers from your standard K5. Of course, you're gonna get a larger rotor. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's going on with this wheel? It's a 19-inch wheel, and you're looking at 245 on the width, 40 series sidewall. This is front-wheel drive. Remember, you could get a TLX A-Spec with that super handling all-wheel drive. Something to think about, but definitely the style with the machined aluminum and the black. It's gonna be hard to clean, but it's gonna be a labor of love, and it matches nicely with our black K5. Now, I love the way they took the headlight housing and brought it all the way up onto the fender. And then coming down the side, we got our slim and trim LED lights, nice painted mirror caps all the way around. You're gonna get some shiny, bright metalwork, which I'm gonna zonk this. I wish this was dark chrome, but the great news is you got a little bit of an oversized sunroof, and because the vehicle's already black, it blends in perfectly. That's why I would like to see some dark chrome. But coming down the side, the way they did that lower side sill extension looks great. And then all the way back, it takes almost like a butter knife shape as it goes really thin to wide and then back to thin because it loops around. Now, as we loop around the back, they really did it right. You're gonna get this trunk-lid spoiler, just enough to let you know that you got something going on here. I do like the way they bring the trim because it makes it look like it's a Sportback, even though this just has a trunk, your standard trunk. We got the LED heartbeat on the brake lights, but we do have bulbs for the turn signals. Clean GT badging. This lights up all the way across, and then all the way down. My favorite part, especially compared to the TLX A-Spec, is we got that functional quad tip exhaust. I like the slash cut. You got the stainless steel tips, and you got a dark chrome finish. See, this is why I was telling you, dark chrome finish on the rear diffuser. But you know what? We're gonna pop the hood, and we're gonna compare horsepower numbers from the K5 GT to the TLX A-Spec. Let's go ahead and get popping and see what's happening. All right, guys, we're about to have some s'mores because it definitely feels like I'm at a campsite right now with all the bug noise, but we keep the show going for you. Underneath the hood, tasteful engine cover. Says turbo, lets you know what's going on underneath it, but what do we got? We got a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline four, 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed DCT. Now, if we compare this to the TLX A-Spec, that has a 2-liter inline four turbocharged engine, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, but it's got a 10-speed traditional torque converter automatic transmission. And like I said, you could get super handling all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 though with the Kia, 5.1 seconds. With the Acura TLX, 5.7 seconds. So we are getting faster. 0 to 60, quarter mile, 13.3 seconds. Top speed, 155 miles per hour. MPGs, 24 in the city, 32 on the highway. The car weighs 3,581 pounds. If you compare that to the TLX with the all-wheel drive, that weighs a little over 4,000 pounds. The one thing that I'm gonna zunk that's missing major on this K5 GT is gonna be a limited slip, any kind of limited slip differential. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this 2.5 liter turbo and hear if it makes any sound. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Kia K5 GT. I think a lot of people have wanted this car, but like I mentioned earlier, it's so hard to find one at a dealership. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Joe, I know plenty of people that got Altimas, Honda Accords, Toyota Camrys. I do like the Acura TLX, but I'm digging this freaking GT, this K5 GT. How much is it? So this is a GT1. You could get it 2 different trim levels, GT1 or GT2. MSRP, the way that you see it, is $32,000. Much less expensive than a TLX A-Spec. But why don't we go ahead and see what you get for the money to the door panels. I love the style that they did. Nice soft touch material up top. A little bit of this like flat black material, and then the silver. The red stitching makes it pop. The big zonk for me is the amount of gloss black right around the switchgear. A little too crazy, but the armrest is semi-soft, and that door pocket is large enough, I would say 2 beef and cheddars and a Mr. Pibb to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. You got the simulated stitching. I wish they would have done red. If you do red on the door, give me some red here. Even if it's not real, give me the red stitching. But I do like the way it's soft material. Got a little bit of gloss black. Some of that flat black finish, which looks great because it hides the fingerprints really well. And then the silver trim. What do we got in the center? You got that 10.25 infotainment system screen. Nice touchscreen capability. Very easy to use, of course. We've shown you all the different features with this thing. Throw it into reverse. Backup camera. Resolution, maybe a little bit better, but it's actually, I think, on par exactly with the TLX. I just wish it was a little bit larger. So maybe you've been told that before in your life about your infotainment systems. I wish that this was just a little bit larger with the visibility. and then we put it right back in the park, and we're right back where we started. Working our way down, you get a nice silver start-stop button. I really like this ribbed area. You know, ribbed not only for your pleasure, but obviously all the pleasure of the passengers, because it's going to make the AC air blow nice and cool, and you got that nice texture design. We do have dual climate control, which is great. And then down below, 12-volt USBs, 2 USB-As, no wireless charging, but you could easily put, I would say, 8 Twinkies in here, stack them up. You will block the USBs, but I'd rather have some, you know, food for later than have my phone charged. How about the key fob? Kia, the new badge, remote start. There's the buttons on it. My favorite Kia key fob is the one from the Stinger. It looks like one of those bomb detonators, but this one, it looks good. It just doesn't look like a bomb detonator. You got your shifter for your 8-speed DCT. It reminds me of a throttle for an F-16 fighter jet. 2 cup holders. We got our electronic e-brake, our drive mode selector knob. I'll show you more of that on the business end. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats. You got to go GT2 for that. Wireless charging is back here. You just drop your phone in that slot. Semi-soft material. Open it up. You got another USB-A, and you could easily put, I would say, 5. I would hold it off at 5 jelly cream donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, and I would like toss it up. Maybe do a little strawberry, a little grape, and then of course you got to do that apple and spice. Those things are freaking so good. Anyways, these seats are freaking so good. Soft material. There's the red stitching I want to see. The GT badge, perforated in the center, piping on the bolstering, manual adjustments for the passenger, but the seats are very comfortable. I have electric assist because I'm the captain of this K5 GT. And then we got that panoramic sunroof, nice one-touch operation, kind of just brings the whole extra feeling in here. But why don't you come on over to the business end? I got a flat bottom steering wheel I want to show you in our K5 GT. All right, guys, business time. Now, you do have your power seat controls, easy to get to, including that lower lumbar feels good. Other than that, I'm 6 feet tall, and with the panoramic sunroof, I still got plenty of headroom in here. The steering wheel is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and like I promised, it's flat bottom with the GT badge, flat black on all the buttons. Love the new Kia badging on the steering wheel. You do have paddles to go up and down that 8-speed DCT. And then of course we have a combo deal of our analog gauges and a 4.2-inch digital display. I don't mind the gauges, I just wish that display was a little bit larger, but you got Sport Plus, Sport, and Normal. That's a nice setup in here. Just wish that it had a little bit larger screen. But other than that, the analog gauges are easy, very easy to see at a glance. But why don't we get in the back seat and see how this measures up to the mighty TLX. Right, guys, back seat time. And you know, a lot of people always ask me, Joe, is the K5 the same size as the Elantra? Because they feel like it is, it's not. And this is really where you could see. The K5 is a mid-size sedan. Elantra, or the Forte, of course, is a compact sedan. Lots of room back here. Now, what's interesting is with the black finish on this particular K5 GT, I feel like this is the one that Darth Vader would drive in Star Wars, for sure. Backs of the seats, a little bit of a soft material combo deal with the hard plastic. The good news, like I said, is that if the kids are eating the jelly donuts back here and getting their freaking fingerprints everywhere, you could clean it off. We do have nice solid pockets. You could easily put, I would say Darth Vader could put about 6 lightsabers in there. Just stack it in there, 1, 2, 3, all the way across. The back of this is interesting because it does come all the way with the stitching, which is great. And we do have AC vents, 2 USB-As. Remember, the TLX has no AC vents, and I think the last time I did a review on an A-Spec, it didn't even have connectivity. But you get it in the K5, we got plenty of room. Pull this bad boy down. It's like a Scott's 2-ply rather than a Charmin 4-ply when it comes to the softness, but you do have 2 cup holders, which are nice. Why don't we go ahead, get into the trunk and see what kind of junk we could put in this K5 GT. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. I like the way they hide the button. Real easy, opens right up. What are you greeted to? You're greeted to 16 cubic feet of space. If you compare this to the TLX, it actually has 2 more cubic feet of room over the TLX A-Spec. We do have these trusty little handles that are easy to get to fold down the rear seat, that 60-40 split. What do we got underneath the floor mat? You do get a spare. So they got you covered there. No freaking can of flat fix or anything like that. But you know what? It's about that time. If you're ready, I'm ready. I think this K5 GT is pretty ready. Let's go on throttle and see how it goes. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Kia K5 GT. I have it in Sport Plus mode. What's cool about that is that it automatically shuts off your traction control and really allows the transmission to do some nice, proper downshifts when you get on the binders. Also, I am digging the way you got the performance gauges with your oil temp, your torque, and your turbo. I just wish that those gauges were larger, like I mentioned when we were doing the interior. But getting to everything is well laid out in here. I'm gonna go ahead and slow down a little bit so that we can go on throttle from a roll. On throttle, here we go. So you're getting really nice acceleration, especially from a roll. It's crazy because with the traction control off in Sport Plus from a dead stop, it just spins the tires. So it would be nice to have something in between those two types of things so that you have quicker acceleration without so much wheel spin. But I don't mind the analog gauges. I think they look really great the way they're backlit LED. And then really visibility, all the touches in here. You got your wireless charging, plenty of storage space. And then the driving experience is actually quite engaging. Now, comparing this to a TLX A-Spec, with the TLX, there's something that Acura does and Honda does where you just get so much communication between the front wheels and the steering wheel. This is close, but it's not the same. On top of that, it would be nice to have an all-wheel drive option in the K5 GT, which obviously you get when you go TLX A-Spec. But the seats are very comfortable, and the infotainment system is really just what people expect when it comes to navigation, ease of use. The way they do the gauges in the TLX Type S, they just look higher quality and nicer, even though it's not a full digital display either in the TLX. All right, guys, here we go, on throttle. See, you're just spinning the tires, and I know a chirping tire is a happy tire, but also if you're spinning your tires, you're not going forward where you want to go. So that needs to be tweaked just a little bit, but other than that, the driving dynamics are still pretty darn good. Steering is a little numb off a top dead center, and we really need a limited slip differential in this car. Like, I need it ASAP. But brakes feel good, and the seats are super comfy. Let's see, going in this left-hand bend here on the brakes. Oh, wow, here we go. So shifts for the 8-speed DCT are fairly quick, and in Sport Plus, they're very purposeful, which I like. And like I was saying, when you get on the brakes and you're slowing down, it starts to downshift it really, really nicely as well. And then, of course, you got the paddles behind the steering wheel. I'm going to put it into sport mode, and then we're going to see how this drives. Because like I said, it just, you have a lot more traction in sport mode than Sport Plus. But I'm telling you, visibility is really, really great in here. And then you got all the safety features, of course. On throttle, here we go. Really, really nice, super smooth. I'm gonna go ahead, you take the shifter, you put it over to the left-hand side. Now you could actually downshift with the paddles. So now you're in control of exactly what gear you're in. But I tell you, the fun factor in this car is really, really up there. That's where they did the right tweakings to make this car super fun. Oh, wow, here we go. Definitely more power than the TLX A-Spec, that's for sure. Nice downshifts. Just needs that limited slip diff. That's what we need, is that limited slip diff. But hopefully this has been a nice overall review for you about the Kia K5 GT, especially comparing it to the TLX. We're gonna get back and wrap this one up from Loki Kia, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of an on-throttle kind of day with this Kia K5 GT. Definitely want to thank Robert, Danny, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2023, their first 2023 Kia K5 GT. Let me know what you think. Are you going with the K5? Are you gonna go Acura and the TLX? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood and Stephen Flood Photography. He's a one-man band. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for working out and doing what you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.